ADDM Analysis and Recommendations. Recall that the Automatic Database Diagnostic Monitor, say that 5 times quickly, or ADDM, is responsible for aggregating snapshots that are taken by the Automatic Workload Repository, or AWR, and actually running an analysis and doing reports on those system state snapshots. The default interval is every hour, but we know we can change those intervals and the retention periods for those snapshots. The snapshots are useful because they allow us to see graphically the behavior of our Oracle database over time. Now, what you can do also is create one or more baselines, and a baseline is essentially a collection of snapshots. So you might create a baseline that snapshots a typical workday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever. It's tougher to do that kind of thing now that so many businesses operate 24/7. But a saved collection of snapshots across an interval is referred to as a baseline. And what's especially cool about a baseline is that if your system is performing normally, you can then compare. If performance begins to degrade later, you can actually overlay or compare your current system state with that of a past baseline and see where those deviations occur and be able to more quickly isolate problems and fix them. You see what I mean? ADDM, like I said, is responsible for parsing those AWR snapshots and giving you targeted recommendations. What are some examples of those recommendations? Well, ADDM might recommend hardware changes. Remember our major subsystems. There's memory, there's processor, there's storage, and there's network. ADDM can spot database configuration changes or recommend those changes, I should say. Maybe you have initialization parameters that are not set properly. That can happen. ADDM can actually give you schema advice for improving the performance of the database, adding indexes, maybe changing your statistics, gathering schedule. That's another whole issue that we'll take on in a separate module, and that is optimizer statistics and how we can take better care of SQL, or structured query language, and how Oracle parses and evaluates SQL. ADDM can actually give you application code and code logic change suggestions right down to the SQL statement level.